present day, on an isolated island in the Pacific Ocean. The expedition is about to land on shore. The scouts we've sent came back wounded, but have confirmed the information we had. Not all dinosaurs have disappeared. On the island, a female velociraptor lives with her babies. So far, we've seen 5 of them, but there could be more. Our mission: to capture the children alive or neutralize the mother, who's fast and powerful. Remember the motto: should we do it? Yes, we can. Let the hunt begin. You are a fast and powerful single mother raptor, just chilling on your personal island, trying to make ends meet. Oh look, here comes those dumb humans again, probably here to steal your children. Again. Our mission? To keep our children safe another night. What else is new? At least we won't go hungry. Raptor is a brilliant 2-player game designed by Bruno Catala and Bruno Feduti. But we don't talk about that. It'll be a brutal face-to-face struggle. But life finds a way. So let's teach you how it's played. To set up the game, choose one of the 2 atmospheres to play on: jungle or savanna. Set out the tiles randomly like so. All of the tiles must match in style. It'll be pretty obvious when that's not the case. Place the center tiles in random locations, rotated randomly to make a unique map for each game. The L-shaped tiles are placed on either end of the map, like so. Then, place these fancy 3D rocks on each space that doesn't show a circle. Wow. Choose one player to be our protagonist, the Raptor Mother, and the other player to be our clear antagonists, the team of scientists.
From my point of view,
Raptors
are evil.
Okay, geez, our other protagonists, our team of scientists. As the Raptor player, take the Raptor Player Aid card, the 9 Raptor Action cards, the Mother figurine, and the 5 Baby Raptor figurines. Place the Mother figurine onto any circle space on the center 2 tiles. Then distribute each of your Baby Raptors, 1 on each remaining tile, each onto any space on that tile. As the Scientist player, take the Scientist Player Aid, the 9 Scientist Action cards, the 10 Scientist figures, all 10 Fire tokens, and the 5 Sleep tokens. On each of the L-shaped tiles, place 1 Scientist on any space. 4 Scientists in total. Keep the rest of your Scientists in a reserve near your Player Aid. Finally, each player shuffles their action cards to form their own draw piles, draws 3 cards to form their hands, and begin the game. As the Raptor player, your goal is to get 3 of your baby raptors to safety off of the board, or just eat all of the scientists. As the scientists, your goal is to peacefully neutralize the mother raptor with 5 sleep tokens. Or just capture 3 innocent baby raptors for totally humane testing. I'm starting to see why we don't talk about Brunos. In each round, each player chooses 1 card in their hand to play face down. Once both players have done this, they are simultaneously revealed. If both cards have the same value, they are both discarded with no effect. However, in most cases, when the values are different, the player with the lower valued card goes first, applying all of the effects of their card if possible. Then, their opponent will take their turn, but instead of activating the effects of the card, They will gain a number of action points to use on their turn, equal to the difference between your card and theirs. For example, cards are chosen by both players and revealed simultaneously. The scientist chose card number 2, Reinforcements. The Raptor player chose card number 6, Disappearance and Observation. Because the scientist played the lower valued card, they get to act first and use the ability of their card, adding 2 scientists to the board. The difference between the cards is 4, so the Raptor player gains 4 action points to spend this round. What can you do with action points? We'll get to that. After each player has taken their turn, they will place their card in front of them, face up and visible to their opponent. Then draw a new card for the next turn. There are 2 ways to get cards back into your hand. First, if you go to draw a card from an empty draw pile, keep the cards in your hand and shuffle your discard pile to form a new draw pile. Then draw your card for turn. The other way is by playing a card with this symbol on it, allowing you to shuffle your discard pile and make a new draw pile immediately. Okay, so let's get some ground rules out of the way. There can never be 2 figures or tokens on the same space. 2 spaces are only considered to be adjacent if they are orthogonally connected, meaning diagonals don't count. The half spaces on the edge of the board are the spaces that baby raptors can escape. No other figure or token can occupy or move into those spaces at any time. Okay, starting with the Raptor player, let's talk about what you can use those action points for. As the Raptor player, you can spend action points in 5 different ways. For 1 action point, you can move a baby raptor 1 space. If by doing this, you move a baby raptor to a half-circle space at the edge of the board, it escapes, bringing you 1/3 closer to victory. For 1 point, you can also move a mother raptor any number of spaces in a straight line. She can only move to and through empty spaces though. The scientists keep telling me that no 2 pieces can occupy the same space. When the scientists hit you with a sleep dart, you receive sleep counters. If the mother has been wounded, then before your first move, you must subtract a number of action points equal to the number of sleep tokens that you've received from the scientists. Then, if you don't have enough action points left to do so, you won't be able to move. But don't worry, there are many other ways to use your points. Instead, you can use an action point to straight up kill a scientist in a space adjacent to you, removing it from the game and returning it to the box. Only the mother raptor can do this, but she can do it as many times as she can afford to on a turn. You can also use a point to wake up a baby raptor. It has to be in an adjacent space to the mother, and you can't wake up a baby that has been put to sleep this turn. But when you can wake it up, you can move it immediately with another point. And finally, with 1 action point, you can put out an entire fire. Using your tail, you can put out a fire token and every other fire token that's orthogonally adjacent to it, and every token adjacent to that, and so on and so forth. Just keep in mind they only count if they are connected orthogonally. Now, only active raptors, meaning standing figures, can take actions. But you can take them in whichever order you wish. And if you don't want to use all your action points, you don't have to. You can even pass your turn without taking any actions at all. Now, these rules also apply to the scientists. Speaking of, let's talk about their actions. The scientists can split up their actions among any and all scientists on the board. They can also take as many actions as they can afford to, in whichever order they choose. The scientists can spend action points in any one of 5 ways. With 1 point, you can move a scientist to an adjacent space. If you use multiple points to move a scientist, it can move through fire tokens, but not end their movement on one. For another point, you can set a frightened scientist upright. And just like the raptor babies, you can only do this with a scientist that was not frightened this round. However, you can do this with any scientist on the board. For 1 point, if there's a baby raptor adjacent to a scientist, you can put it to sleep. For another point, you can immediately capture a sleeping baby raptor in a space adjacent to a scientist, bringing you 1/3 closer to victory. And finally, you can use 1 action point to shoot a tranquilizer dart at the mother raptor. Any scientist can do this. There's no limit to the distance, but it does have to be in a straight line. And the only obstacles that can stand in your way are rocks and other standing scientists. Frightened scientists can be shot right over. So, if you have a clear shot, hand the Raptor player a sleep token to proudly display on their player aid. Now, continuing with the scientists, let's talk about the effects of your cards. Remember, the effects of these cards only matter if you played the lower number in a round. The player with the higher card only uses their action points to take their turn. Keep an eye on the cards your opponents played, displayed publicly on the table. This will give you the best insight as to when you should play any particular card. Cards 1 and 4, Sleeping Gas, allow you to put baby raptors to sleep. With this card, you can do this to any raptor on the same tile or even one on an orthogonally adjacent tile to any scientist. This can be a big advantage, but you will still have to get a scientist to it to capture it. This symbol on card 1 means to reshuffle your draw pile and discard pile, including this card, to form a new draw deck. Cards 2 and 6, Reinforcements, allow you to play 2 scientists from your reserve onto any unoccupied full circle space on the square tiles along the edge of the board, like so. This is, of course, assuming you still have some left in your reserve. Cards 3 and 8, Cheap, allows you to make 2 or 4 movements respectively with your scientists in jeeps. Meaning, like the Raptor mother, they can move any number of spaces in a straight line. You can move 2 different scientists, or 1 scientist 4 times, or 1 scientist 3 times and another one once, however you want to do it. Cards 5 and 7, Fire, allow you to place 2 or 3 fire tokens, respectively, 1 at a time on the game board. Remember, a fire token can only be placed adjacent to a scientist or another fire token on the board. And finally, card 9 has no ability, since at worst, it can tie with the Raptor's 9 card. Speaking of Raptors, let's talk about their cards. Raptor card 1 and 4, Mother's Call, allow you to call 1 or 2 baby raptors respectively. Just move the chosen raptors onto any open space on the same tile as their mother. A raptor on the same tile already can even be chosen and moved to a different space on that same tile. Card 1 even allows you to shuffle your discard pile and deck to make a new draw deck. Cards 2 and 6, Disappearance and Observation, allow the Raptor player to remove the mother figure from the board. Then, after the scientists have used up all their action points, return her to any unoccupied space on the board. During this time, the Raptor mother observes the scientists and can predict their next move. In the next round, the scientist will have to reveal their chosen card before the Raptor player chooses theirs. Cards 3 and 8, Fear, allow you to frighten 1 or 2 scientists respectively. You can choose any scientists on the board. Lay their figure down to show that they are now frightened. The scientist player will have to spend an action point to stand them back up before doing anything else. Just keep in mind that while they're down, they are no longer obstacles for the sleep dart. Cards 5 and 7, Recovery, allow you to return 2 or 3 sleep tokens from your player aid to the scientists. Instead of each of these, you could wake up a baby raptor anywhere on the map. You can do this in any combination of 2 or 3. And finally, card 9 has no effect. Play this card at the right time to get as many action points as possible. And that's it. Continue playing like this, each player choosing a card from their hand, playing it face down and revealing it, taking their turns and drawing a card until one side wins. The Raptor player wins if they rescue 3 baby raptors or kill all of the scientists. And the scientists win if they capture 3 baby raptors or fully neutralize the mother with 5 sleep tokens. And that's how to play Raptor. Thank you for watching. Always remember to reference the rulebook for any strange interactions or strategy tips. This rulebook actually has some solid strategy tips to check out on the back, so if you're struggling to win, definitely check that out. And if you want this game shipped right to your home, check out greatoaks.fun/shop, where you can find this as well as hundreds of other great games and the newest Magic the Gathering sets. Or, if you're in town, just stop in Wadsworth, Ohio to try this and over 1,000 other awesome games like it at Great Oaks Tavern.